to Checkers Library TV, another mini show as we move towards our March episode. March comes out in just one more week. 1 week until the March show, but today we've got Mrs. Hamilton doing Storytime Theater. I'm going to be talking about a movie series, I'm looking forward to that, and a few other little surprises mixed in between. So join us today, we hope you have a great time, and we will see you for our full March episode next week.
Did you know? There are over 400 different breeds of dogs in the world! The most popular breed of pet dog in the world is a Labrador. The average dog is as intelligent as a 2-year-old child. Adult dogs have 42 teeth. The library has tons of books about dogs. Visit the library to learn more.
The Great Valentine's Day Surprise. And there is a mailman, and it looks like he's delivering some valentines. It's a Lift the Flap book. Ooh, those are fun. So the author is Susie Jane Tanner. Come on. It's like a guessing game. Okay, here's the Valentine card. It says, "Who do you think sent this pretty card, Mouse?" So the mailman's giving the mouse a card and it says, "You're the cat's whiskers." Let's see who gave it to Mouse. Ah, love your friend, Pussycat. So it says, "You're the cat's whiskers." That means the cat really liked you. So this must be Mouse's house. Let's see. Owl, who could have sent this Valentine? So here's Owl's Valentine, and it says, "I'm Quackers over you." Who says quack that would have given Owl a Valentine? Let's see. From your pale duck, XX. So that's hugs. Usually when you write XO, that means hugs and kisses. But I guess pale duck was giving him some hugs. And Quackers over you. I wonder who sent such a lovely card, Pussycat. So this says, "Honey, won't you be my Valentine?" Let's see. With love from Honeybee. What a nice card for you, Frog. Who's that from? Now everyone else, they had a house that they live on, but look at Froggy, he's on his lily pad. And here's his Valentine. Oh, the mailman had to go on a lily pad to deliver it. It says, "Valentine, you're better than cheddar." And there's some cheese on there. So what animal likes cheese? I could have given this Valentine to Froggy. It's Happy Valentine's Day, love, Mouse. Honeybee, here's a card for you. Who do you think sent it? I'd go out on a limb for you. A limb is like a branch in a tree. So what animal friend likes to stay on branches? We might have seen him earlier in this book. Lots of love, Owl. I wonder who wants to be your Valentine, Duck? All right, we're at the pond, and it says, "Hop to it. Be my Valentine. And there's a lot of lily pads. Who do you think sent this Valentine to Doc? Any guesses? Ooh, I think someone guessed it. It's from your neighbor, Frog. A card for me? Who could have sent this Valentine? So someone sent a Valentine to the mailman. You've got our stamp of approval. And there's a stamp on there. And if you put something in the mail, you need to have a stamp in the very corner. We learned about that when we wrote our mail letter. So let's see who mailed card. It says, surprise! Lots of love from all your friends. Ah. So it's from Duck, Frog, Owl, Mouse, Honeybee, and Cat. And then, this book used to belong to my daughter. She stuck an Ariel sticker on there. I'm sure there's many little girls and boys out there that like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone! So it's always nice to give Valentines. And later this week, we're gonna cut out some little squares with a heart on it, and we can write Valentines for maybe people in our family. We could write mom on one, or dad, or maybe a name of a brother or a sister, or a grandma or a grandpa. And it feels really good when you give someone a card and say, I love you. And that's what Valentine's Day is all about. Just letting people know that you love and care about them. The end. All right, the great Valentine's Day surprise.
Hello, we are here at Checkers Movie Talk, talking about movies. We can talk about older movies, we can talk about newer movies, anything like that. Now this time I want to flash you back again. We're going back to the past, to the early 1940s. So let's think about how long ago that was. That was 80 years ago. The 1940s were 80 years ago, so that is really cool. We're starting by talking about a movie, and actually this isn't just a movie. This is called a movie short. This means it's not a full-length movie, it's a shorter movie, and it is called Superman. Yes, there were 17 Superman cartoons made in the early 1940s by Fleischer Animation Studios and later Famous Animation Studios, and it centers around the character of Superman. Now, I watched these cartoons when I was younger because eventually, just like another cartoon I talked about earlier on Checkers Library TV, this went to the public domain. So that means anyone can watch this right now. You can find it on the internet pretty easily. Type in Fleischer Superman cartoons. You can find them on some videos and some DVDs, things like that. You can find these cartoons very easily. Now, they came out many, many years ago, and they invented all sorts of technologies because this was made in the early days of animation. They came up with something called rotoscoping. And that means you take a real person, a person like me, and then they traced around them, and they used the technology to use real movements and turn them into animations. So this cartoon was really special. It also was what created the idea of Superman flying. And that's because the animators had trouble with the idea of Superman. When Superman first came out, all he could do was jump really high and then he'd fall back down. But what this animation studio came up with was it would be so much easier if Superman could just fly, because then they wouldn't have to have him going bouncing up and down. So they invented the idea of Superman flying on this cartoon series. It also had all these different shadows and dark colors, and it made it look really, really realistic and really special. And that idea of the way that was shaded and lit and how it was all colorful and very vibrant is still being used today. A lot of modern day animations have looked back to these cartoons and used what they were doing to make their own new special creations. So this was really influential. It had a great point in history where it inspired so many people who were growing up in that time, and people still today are watching these cartoons. And when I was younger, I didn't even know that these cartoons were so much older than me. I thought that they were coming out new when I was growing up. So it's really amazing how something made that long ago still has an important place in history, and it still looks new. It's really, really special. So it was a really, really great series. It came out, like I said, many years ago. There were 17 episodes, and you can find them really easily. So I definitely recommend you check these out to learn more about the Superman cartoons and watch them. They're so much fun, and they're only about 7 minutes each, so you can watch them all pretty quickly. I hope you get a chance to do that and learn more about the history of animation, because it's a great thing to learn about. And if you are interested in learning more about animation, ask your library if they have a book about animation. You can learn about the history, different ways that artists animate, illustrations, how you can draw the cartoons and the characters, and then, like I said, animations, all you're doing is taking that drawing and making it move around. So that's really interesting. I hope you get a chance to learn about that. So definitely ask your library if they have any books on animation. And we will have more movies and history to talk about next time on Checkers Movie Talk.
And now it's time for
The joke of the week. Why are librarians very good at planning vacations? They know how to book a trip. Oh yeah!
Hello and welcome to Checkers Loves Books. This is the part of the show where I recommend books that I think you should be reading, and we have 2 books to talk about today, books for younger readers and books for older readers. And we're going to start with the younger readers. We have a book by P.D. Eastman. It is called Go Dog Go. This is from a series of books called I Can Read It All by Myself. It is a beginner book, and it's really one of those books that I remember really well because it had a lot of rhymes in it, and you would know what was coming up next when you read it over and over. And it was one of those books that I would read pretty much every day. Let me read like one of the lines from the books here. All right, so it says, "The sun is up, the sun is yellow, the yellow sun is over the house. It is hot out here in the sun. It is not hot here under the house." So I would remember what was coming up next, and it got me really excited because all the dogs are going somewhere in the end, and you have to kind of find out where they're going and what's happening, and you get really excited as you keep reading it over and over. And like I said, it's a really good rhyming book, so you're going to remember it. And when you're able to read it by yourself, it's really exciting, and you're going to be able to kind of piece your way through it, and you're going to remember it really well, and you might end up finding yourself, even when you become a grown-up, remembering all the words in the book. So we have Go Dogs Go for the younger readers. But for the older readers, we have this book here, which is called Holes by Louis Sachar. This is another book I remember really well. It's about a boy named Stanley Yelnats who lives with his family. His father's an inventor, but his inventions haven't really ever gone very well, and the family's kind of struggling. He also lives with his grandfather, who tells him all these stories about his family. Now, Stanley gets arrested for a crime he didn't commit, and he doesn't go to jail because he's a kid, so he gets sent off to a camp with other kids who've committed crimes, and what they have to do every day is dig holes, and they're digging it for a whole group of people, and they don't know why they're digging the holes, but there turns out to be a secret behind what they're doing. And there's a whole mystery with Stanley's ancestors, his grandfather, his great-grandfather involved in all of it. And it's a really, really interesting story, and it's going to be very, very exciting. So you're going to have a lot of fun reading this story and seeing where the mystery goes. And it's a book you're going to remember very well. It's got a lot of great characters in it. There's a lot of themes of friendship and family, and there's also, like I said, a really cool curse with the Stanley Yelnats family and a mystery that you're going to learn more about as the story progresses. It's not too long, so you'll be able to read this by yourself, and you'll be able to work through it, and you're, like I said, when you get to the end, you're going to really enjoy what happens and how it all comes together in the end. So we do have Holes here for the older readers. I definitely recommend you read this book, and there was a movie made about it about 15 years ago or so that I think you're also going to enjoy. It's really a lot like the book, and it's really cool whenever you get to see a book you read come to life on the big screen. So check that out also. So Holes for the older readers. And we have Go Dog Go for the younger readers. So make sure you check out both these books. They're very different, but they're for younger readers and older readers. I think you're really going to enjoy them. Check them out and check out more books at the library. I'll have more books to talk about next time on Checkers Loves Books.